Many years back, I worked in a large healthcare organization. I love the challenge of it, I love the mission of it. It was like a dream job to work in a field and a specialty that I loved and that I had also been trained for. I worked hard and long hours, I had a good time, I made friends, and not too long after I started, I had the chance to lead the group. It was so fun, and mentoring the team was my favorite part. I loved meeting with each team member and sitting side by side to assess their progress, helping them see how they could improve in a way that matched their styles and met their goals. And we were doing really great for a while. Then, slowly, a couple folks in our team started falling short of meeting their goals. I started getting pressure from the leadership to dig into what the team was and to see what was going on, so I did that. I helped them, I probed to see what was going on, but I also protected them. I stepped in and did things for them, thinking that if I could just show them one more time or give them one more week, they could turn it around. But they couldn't. And ultimately, when I left the organization, several of the low performers that I had invested so much in were immediately let go. This is the CliftonStrengths talent theme of developer. It's a strength I have in my top 10. It can be a beautiful strength, but in this case, it was used in overdrive to really a sad ending for me, the organization, and the people on my team. Hi there, welcome to the Isogo TV podcast from IsogoStrong.com. I am your host, Becky Hammond, and you and I gather right here on this podcast to fixate on strength in our families and on our teams. Because when we start from assuming strength, we can make relationships easier. This is episode 105, and we are in a series right now about how to make relationships easier with our strengths. Today, we're chatting all about one of the 34 Clifton strengths, the developer strength. You know, it's so easy in our world today to see the negative, focus on the negative in ourselves and others too, but really you can impact relationships by turning that over, by emphasizing the positive, the strengths that you already have. Yet sometimes, as you probably already know, the line between what you use as a strength and what can negatively affect your relationships is a thin one. It can really be hard to walk. So let's continue to take a look at what making relationships easier looks like through the lens of developer. Oh, your developer strength, it is such a gift for you and for the people that are around you. I just love the way that your developer talent gives you the natural ability to see, appreciate, and encourage the small steps of progress in the people that are around you. You are just so naturally adept at mentoring and teaching others, even taking people who are coming from very infant stages all the way through to complete development and success. And what's awesome for you is that your own energy is bumped as you invest in the baby steps and the growth of others. So let's talk a little bit about making relationships easier with your developer strength. You know, developer is a relational strength by its very nature. You can see and are willing to recognize the beauty in people, no matter how small that beauty is or how invisible it is to someone else around you. Leaders who are developers see potential and are willing to take risks on people because they see what people could be. In families, developers can offer an amazing sense of patience with the progress their kids are making as they hit milestone after milestone and encourage them to keep going even when they falter. It's so amazing to see this play out in organizations and in homes. Then, as is true of every strength, there's a flip side. Just like my own story. When I was a new leader, this talent can get in the way of relationships as well. When a leader spends too much time investing in a team member who was never meant to be a good fit, it halts the progress towards goals, and it's even a disservice to the organization. And ironically, it's also not the best for that person. The individuals that I was trying to prop up would have been so much happier and effective in a different role. But I was so caught up on seeing those baby steps of progress that I couldn't see the bigger, longer term picture and help make a hard decision. As a parent, I think it's a little trickier. Like, when do I let my kids struggle and persevere and make it through? And when do I see their talent or lack of talent and help them find something that's a better fit? as a developer, you can begin to look for those nuances and help encourage them towards progress and towards talent. So here are a couple ways that you can put this into action, practically speaking. First, acknowledge that you can't develop everyone. With the same natural ability that you have to see progress, you can also use it to see the flip side, to see where they've missed making progress, and see that not everyone can or should be developed for every role. Looking back, I can totally see that there were signs that my struggling team members were not a great fit for the role. Now I can see that my undying faith in them blinded me to the other things that they could do so much better. So if you're struggling with this, like I was, it might take an outside perspective to bounce against. It could be something like setting up metrics for your team, or in your family, it's maybe asking seasoned parents for their experience. Not everyone should be developed for every role. They all have their unique places to be a best fit, and you can direct your efforts towards helping them find the place that they will truly shine. So the first action is to acknowledge it's not always best to develop everyone. And the second is to reframe your mindset of developer. Much of using our strengths to make relationships easier is about truly buying into and adopting the strengths perspective mindset, one that chooses to fixate on what's right with people instead of what's wrong or what their weaknesses are. The most productive and meaningful strengths mindset is one that knows and dials in our own strengths while accepting and appreciating the strengths of the people that are around us. Your developer mindset is likely already tuned in towards the strengths of others, to see and honor the talent and progress in each person. It comes naturally for you. So for you, your strengths mindset is to watch out for where you have mindfulness around your own impact on other people. Own your developer and let others benefit from it. When you see those little steps of progress, mention them. Say them out loud. You see things that others don't, even in themselves. Celebrate them. Throw a tea party with your kids or mention it in a meeting. As you help point out the progress and nurture it where it's meant to be, you will not only protect and strengthen the relationships, you'll also begin to see those same individuals flower and grow, just as you expected all along. So there we have it, a bit about how you can use your developer strength to make relationships easier around you, in your family, or on your team. If you operate from the developer strength, or you know someone who does closely, I'd love to know how this episode sits with you. You are the one who is living and breathing this strength, this talent. How does it work well in your relationships? And where do you still find you have some room to fine-tune it? I'd love for you to head over to Instagram and tag or direct message me at isogostrong.com with those thoughts on what developer looks like in your relationships at work or at home. And that is spelled ISOGO strong over on Instagram. And if you are even more curious about what impacting the relationships around you looks like by fixating on your strength instead of weakness, I'd love to help give you a jump start as your virtual coach. It's super easy to start, and since you listened today, I'd love to give you $5 off the Strength Startup Virtual Coach Kickstarter. In this coaching email series from me, you'll get insights and into your own talents and strengths, as well as some action you can take to make relationships easier around you. If you go over to isogostrong.com/strengthsstartup, you can check it out. And when you're checking out, use the code VirtualCoach5 for $5 off. That's VirtualCoach5 for $5 off. You and your strengths have the power to make a ripple effect in your family and on your team, and then ultimately across the entire world. You can make relationships easier as you fixate on strengths in your family and on your team. So dial them in, take ownership for your mindset, and make those relationships easier. Until next time on Isogo TV.